This is Joshua Hart here, 4 seconds out. Delighted to be joined by Russ Anber here at Wembley Stadium. Russ, it's a huge week. Oleksandr Usyk looks to become a 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion this weekend against Daniel Dubois. First of all, how do you see this fight unfolding from the Usyk team perspective? What are you expecting?
I'm expecting what we've always expected from Usyk, Josh. I don't think the battle plan is going to change. I think the recipe that has made him a generational great, I think, that pressure that he puts on you, the pace that he sets in a fight, the volume of punches he throws, I don't think that's going to change. I think you're going to see that that's worked for him throughout his professional career, and I don't think it's changing Saturday night.
Do you expect a different type of Daniel Dubois? There's been a big narrative of when he first fought Usyk, he was a boy, now he's a man. Do you see it similar to that?
Yeah, I might not go far as to say boy to man, because I don't think he was a boy then. I think he was a man then. But I think, he's a different man now, because prior to fighting Usyk the first time, he didn't have anything that gave him that confidence that there's something there that he could do to beat Usyk. But I think since that loss, and this goes to prove that, it doesn't matter when you take a loss, it's what you do after you take a loss that matters. I think, he's had the great win, and obviously the Anthony Joshua win was huge for him. With the pressure, with everything, he delivered. So yes, I do think we're going to see a Dubois that's, more confident, more belief in himself. Is it going to be enough to offset the skill set and the volume and everything that Usyk brings to the table? I don't know, but it should make for a better version of a Daniel Dubois.
A lot has been made of the split with Oleksandr Usyk and Alex Krassyuk, obviously long-time promoter and a promoter-fighter relationship that almost seemed like a brotherhood. What do you make of the split from what you know?
Bro, I don't know, and unfortunately I haven't had the opportunity to talk to Usyk about it, and I won't now. This is not the time. Hopefully I'll find out later what happened, what transpired, and sometimes the business of boxing is just disgusting, and I hate the business of boxing. I hate it. I hate the business. I hate the politics, but it's all motivated by money and whatnot, so I don't know what went on, but hopefully I'll find out after this fight.
Again, for Daniel, Wembley's considered almost a home for him. It's, Don Charles has been saying, where they train, you can see the Wembley Arch just above us now. But equally in that same sentence, if it's a boxing ring, it's home for Oleksandr Usyk. It doesn't really matter where the ring is. Do you see Daniel possibly able to take any sort of mental advantage with having the crowd maybe backing him?
I don't know that the crowd is going to be backing him. We're going to have to see. If you base it on what the media workout was like yesterday, it seemed like there was a lot more people that were cheering for Usyk.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think Usyk has been. We use the word road warrior for a lot of fighters, but I think he's the quintessential road warrior, whether it's been in the cruiserweight division or the heavyweight division, whether it's been Murat Gassiev in Russia, Marius Bradis in Latvia, Joshua at Tottenham Hotspur, Saudi, wherever it is, he's the road warrior, and I don't think that where it is matters. I think who it is matters. Once the bell rings, you tune out everything that's going on, and you're focused on the guy in front of you. And on Saturday night, he'll be focused on Daniel Dubois.
In the launch press conference, there's a lot of digs and remarks made from Team Dubois regarding the low blow in the first fight. Are you hoping that there's no controversy like there was last time? Because a lot of people are seeing that as a big controversial moment of the fight still.
Yeah, it's funny how in this world, despite video evidence and proof that something happened, you can still deny it and say no, it didn't happen. What you're seeing didn't happen. And if you can't see a low blow landing, then you don't want to see it. So you're just gonna psych yourself up into thinking, yeah, that was what happened and that was in our mind. But bro, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's as ridiculous as it was when it happened there. When people say, oh, it wasn't a low blow, and I don't know what you're watching, but everybody saw it was a low blow, to the point where it was almost, I thought it was an intentional low blow. So to say that it didn't even exist is just insanity.
To say, obviously, when it first happened, there was obviously a lot of split opinion and a lot of people saying it was ridiculous, but nearly 2 years on now, and people still creating the argument, do you find that just even more
stupid? Stupid. Yeah. Stop already. Stop. I can't even believe we're still talking about that and that it makes a difference. ridiculous.
Just while I've got you, Russ, I do want to get your thoughts on Tyson Fury as well. He's made the headlines recently saying that he's going to be coming back and he wants a trilogy with Oleksandr Usyk. Do you believe he has any legs to stand on to get a trilogy fight?
Guys, Josh, you guys have to be careful when you use the word trilogy, okay? A trilogy means you have a split in the first 2 fights, and when you have a third fight, that's the trilogy to determine who's the winner. This is just a third fight. Okay. It's not a trilogy. It's you don't have a trilogy when a guy's up 2-0, you know? Of course he wants Usyk. Why wouldn't he? Because that's going to be the cash fight for him, right? So, all these guys, they seem to not have enough money or they want to spend more of it, whatever it is. You're going after a guy that beat you twice in 24 rounds, that you waited 2 years to fight, and you didn't fight him. And then when you did, he beat you twice. So, that's not from my generation of boxing. Like you guys fought when they split fights and had the third fight. That's when you had a trilogy. This business of saying I want a third fight with a guy, and then what? If you beat him, do we get a fourth fight? Do we get to fight him again? Like, when do you stop this? You just fight 2 guys, just keep fighting each other again and again? That's not the way the business works.
In the same statement of Tyson calling out Usyk for a third fight, he also said that if he was to box Daniel Dubois, he'd box Daniel's ears off. Do you think if Tyson was to come back and have a shot at Dubois, do you think he would box his ears off? Or?
He's a great boxer, he might. That'd be interesting, and that would be, a great British dust-up, as you say, I think that would be a great fight, especially having beaten Anthony Joshua. I think he's earned the credibility to fight somebody like Tyson Fury, and Tyson's going to have to fight some of the iron of the division, because when you look at it now, in his last, 5 fights or so, he's fought Wilder 3 times, fought Chisora. How many times did they fight each other? 3 times.
Yeah.
And Usyk twice. He's fought 3 different guys, and he hasn't fought the depth of the division. So maybe it's time that he does fight some of the other guys in the division. And Dubois would be a great one.
Just lastly, there's some breaking news last night that Riyadh Season, Turki Al-Sheikh, they are not going to be putting on the rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. They will not be involved in making that fight. Do you believe the rematch does happen now without that, or think Chris and Conor should go their separate ways?
Based on the fact that it was a really great fight, it was a really great fight with a huge build-up, and let's face it, I don't think anybody thought they were going to get that kind of a fight out of it. So based on that, yeah, let's do it, because that has but if you do it, then you're looking at a potential of a 3-fight deal, right? You're going to have to do the third fight if Conor Benn pulls it out. If he doesn't, you end up getting a great second fight. The guy proves his dominance. He wins. Off into the sunset. Each goes or off on their own separate paths. But it was worthy of a rematch. It was worthy of a rematch.
If a rematch is to happen, who do you think wins?
Well, again, I think the reason Eubanks won the first one was just that little skill set, that little bit better of the science of boxing in there that made the difference in the fight. It wasn't just about heart, because Conor Benn showed a ton of heart as well, but the sweet science, the little finesse of boxing, the little skill set that got the punch to the target quicker than Benn got it to him, made the difference in the fight.
Russ, I'm going to leave it there. I could sit here and talk to you about boxing all day, but the press conference is going to start very shortly.
Yeah, so go do your job.
Ross, thank you very much for your time, and look forward to catching up again
My
soon.
pleasure, mate.
Cheers.
All right, Josh.
Thank you very much, Ross.
How you doing, Mr. Russ?